If you're moving to Scottsdale and someone tells you to pick a ranch neighborhood, they have no idea what they're talking about. Scottsdale Ranch, McCormick Ranch, Gainey Ranch. 3 neighborhoods, same word in the name, but completely different price points, lifestyles, and buyers. I'm Samantha Malcolm. I've sold hundreds of homes across all 3 of these neighborhoods, from $500,000 condos to $5 million estates. And I'm going to tell you exactly what makes each one different, who each one is actually right for, and which one I'd put my own money in, depending on what you're looking for. Before I break these down, here's what they actually have in common, and it is especially important context if you're coming from out of state. All 3 are what I consider the core of Scottsdale. Not too far north, not downtown, just that sweet spot where you have access to everything. The 101, shopping, Sky Harbor, all of it. You're looking at 15 to 20 minutes to the airport on a normal day, and all 3 are Scottsdale Unified School District, which is consistently one of the top rated districts in all of Arizona. If schools are driving your decision, and for a lot of my relocation clients they are, you're in good hands at any of these 3. And all of these 3 have that mature, established feel you don't get in newer communities. Mature landscaping and big trees, neighborhoods that looked lived in and loved. That's not something you can manufacture. But here's where the similarities end, because the price points, the vibe, and the actual day-to-day lifestyles in each of these neighborhoods are very different. Let me take you through each one. Let's start with McCormick Ranch, because this is where Scottsdale Master Plan living was invented. We're talking about a 7 square mile neighborhood that was built in the 70s. It was one of the first master plan communities in the entire valley, and it shows in the best way possible. You've got over 25 miles of connected walking and bike paths that connect the whole neighborhood. 10 lakes, lush greenbelts, parks everywhere. This is not a neighborhood you drive through. It's a neighborhood that you actually live in. McCormick Ranch has over 27,000 residents spread out over 66 subdivisions, which means there's a real range here. You can find a 2-bedroom condo starting in the 500s, or you can find a custom waterfront home pushing over $2 million. The median sales price hovers around $1 million, depending on where you're looking. So who is McCormick for? Honestly, it's the most versatile of the 3. Families love it because of the schools. Cochise Elementary, Cocopah Middle School, and Chaparral High School, all A-rated schools. Active people love it. You can literally bike for miles from your front door without hitting a major road. And people that want that classic Scottsdale feel, this is it. Here's what I always tell my buyers. If you want the full Scottsdale experience without the gainy prices, McCormick is almost always the right answer. It's the best value play for the 3 for what you're actually getting. Now, Scottsdale Ranch. This one tends to surprise people, especially buyers that come in thinking this is just another big suburb. Scottsdale Ranch was built in the 1980s. It's about 3,900 homes across 40 subdivisions, so it is a true community, not just a collection of streets. Lake Serena is a 42-acre lake right in the middle of the neighborhood. We're talking actual waterfront homes with docks, right in the middle of the desert. It's genuinely one of these things you have to see in person to appreciate. Now, price-wise, Scottsdale Ranch sits right around the McCormick median, $850,000 to the $1 million range for most of the neighborhood. The waterfront lots are going to push higher, and for good reason. The community itself is extremely active. The HOA runs all kinds of community events, from jazz festivals, wine tasting, to golf clubs. It's not a neighborhood where you just go home and shut your front door. So here's my honest take on Scottsdale Ranch. It's the neighborhood that most people sleep on, and then can't stop talking about it once they're in it. I've had clients that almost didn't want to look at it because they weren't familiar with the name, and then ended up buying in Scottsdale Ranch because nothing else compares for the price. The community is genuinely strong, the neighborhood looks great, and property values have been consistently climbing. If you want waterfront living without paying for the Gainey Ranch prices, Scottsdale Ranch is where you need to be. And then there's Gainey Ranch. which is a different conversation entirely. Gainey Ranch is guard gated 24/7. It sits right on the edge of Paradise Valley. The Grand Hyatt Scottsdale Resort is literally inside the neighborhood. The 27-hole Gainey Ranch golf course runs through the whole neighborhood. This almost isn't a neighborhood, it's a resort that happens to have homes in it. Homes here run in the mid 500s on the low end, up to well over $3 or $4 million for a luxury estate. But the pricing here isn't just about square footage. You are paying for what's around you. The golf, the gate, the address, the proximity to Fashion Square and everything on Scottsdale Road. And the estate club is the social hub. Olympic-sized pool, lit tennis courts, pickleball, a full fitness center. What most people don't know, the neighborhood is actually built around the former estate of Daniel Gainey. He owned a 640-acre horse ranch here in Scottsdale. There is an actual identity and history around this community that new neighborhoods just can't compare. So, who is Gainey Ranch for? Buyers who want the highest level of security and privacy without going full custom estate in the hills. People who golf or want the option to golf right out their back door. Lock and leave buyers. A lot of my Gainey Ranch buyers have homes in other states and they need a property that runs itself while they're gone. So let me be straight with you. Gainey Ranch commands a premium. You're oftentimes paying more per square foot than you would in some of the other ranches, but for the right buyer, it's truly not a comparison. So here's the bottom line. McCormick Ranch is for the buyer that wants the best of both worlds. It's the biggest, most diverse, and has been the gold standard for decades. Scottsdale Ranch is for that buyer that wants the same community energy, but with something genuinely unique. A lakefront lifestyle that you just don't expect to find here in the desert. If waterfront living matters, this is where you look first. And Gainey Ranch is for the buyer that wants security, prestige, and a true resort lifestyle. You know who you are, and if this is you, Gainey delivers in a way that nothing else can. Now, which one is right for you specifically? That'll depend on a dozen things, and I need to know more about your lifestyle before I can answer that. And that's the exact conversation I have with all my relocation clients. So if you're seriously considering a move to Scottsdale, reach out. The link's below. I'll tell you straight which neighborhood fits you and which one doesn't. If this was helpful, subscribe. I'll break down Scottsdale neighborhoods, market data, and everything relocation buyers need to know before they make a move. If there's a specific neighborhood you want me to cover next, leave a comment. I'm Samantha Malcolm, sold by Samantha. See you in the next one.